Are you a believer?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we believe in?
I don't know.
What do you believe in?
I don't think we share beliefs.
You don't think so?
But I am interested in why you believe what you believe. Would you like to tell me?
I think I've seen the evidence.
What evidence?
I have seen lives change.
You just do it.
From people who reach out to others. When you reach out to people that don't have hope, maybe they are facing illness, or maybe they're lonely, or maybe they are discouraged.
And you need your religious faith to do that.
I think that it's not a religious faith. I think my faith encourages me to reach out to others.
I'm presuming you're a Christian. It's just a presumption on my part.
Well, I don't know. I think the word Christian is really only in the Bible a couple times.
Okay. Would you give me a label for your belief?
I guess I believe in the creator of heaven and earth. Like many.
Okay, so do you subscribe to the Christian ideas of life, death, resurrection, Jesus, all that stuff?
I believe in a faith that gives eternal life and can change lives.
Do you believe Jesus was incarnated from the Father and all that kind of thing?
All that kind of thing. I think the evidence is historically proven.
Oh, okay.
There is evidence.
What's your evidence?
I think if you go back to historians that were not necessarily church fathers, but were actual historians.
Do you know the names of any?
Let me think.
It's okay if you don't. I mean, this is on the spot.
I should know them. There are historians, if you go back and if you look up famous historians, you will find the things that are talked about in the Bible are actually proven outside of the Bible, just in the history of the world.
That's your impression?
And it's not an impression, it's a fact.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry that I don't have all those facts to give you,
no, that's fine.
because I think you're a very fact-based person, and I know that when I was studying, and I did study, I just didn't dive in, it is proven, and so it's like, more than that, it's what do you do with your faith, right? So do you care for people? Do you change lives? Do you feed people that are hungry? Do you reach out to the person who's ready to commit suicide?
So whether you can demonstrate the faith with reason to be true is secondary to you, not really very important.
Say that again?
So whether you can demonstrate the faith to be true rationally is not the main issue to you. It's whether you're kind to people and that kind of stuff. Is that what you're saying?
Hold on. I think that if you have faith in something, it's usually reflected in your life.
Okay. Can't people
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but can't people do...
So if I believe that ice cream is good for me, I'm going to eat ice cream.
Sure.
If I believe a vegetarian diet is good, I'm going to do that. If I believe that there is a power greater than me, I'm probably going to somehow extend hope to people that don't have it.
Okay. Why would you do that based on the belief in the higher power?
Because if everything on earth is just... I mean, how do we? For me, I think that how do we as human beings meet all the needs of all the people? Because I think if you look at the world and you listen to the news, it can be overwhelming. When you look at hurricanes, when you look at drug addictions, when you look at all the many booths that are here, you'd say, "Gosh, look at this world! I can't do this."
Right.
You know?
Well, the question is whether or not your religion helps do it or not, or whatever you want to call it, religion, faith, belief, whatever you want to call it. Does that help or hurt? That's the question.
I think it encourages me.
Okay, that encourages you.
Because I don't know if you've ever been in a place of being so low, so hurting. Like, say somebody in your life, like a loved one.
A person in crisis. A loved one dying, some sort of personal trauma, divorce, that kind of thing.
Or then if you work with people who maybe have mental illness, and gosh, do we need more deaths?
Excuse me?
Do we need more people to kill themselves to show that we have brokenness in the world. I mean, to have no hope.
Okay.
I mean, where do you get your hope?
Okay. What do you mean by brokenness?
Brokenness could be maybe being raised in a family that has drug addictions, or a lot of death, or maybe child abuse, or maybe spouse abuse,
Now,
or maybe
do you have evidence that
all those things
your religion heals brokenness?
Heals it?
Or doesn't cause it?
I don't know. I think that there are people in all walks of life that cause things.
Well, yeah.
Right. Am I saying that Christians don't cause pain? No.
Okay.
I think there's plenty of evidence to say that people who say they believe in God have done horrendous things.
All right. So how do I know who the true believers are?
I think that maybe it was Mother Teresa that talked about the best gospel, the best thing that we share is our life. So our life should show. So I think that within us...
How do I know who the ones are that are showing Jesus, presumably, and the ones aren't? How do I know that?
I think that you develop a relationship with them. Because through conversation or through watching them, because sometimes people are scary. I wouldn't recommend going and talking to total strangers. They might not be safe.
I talk to total strangers all the time, man.
Right, and could you say that you can identify ones that may not be safe?
Sure.
So,
I've met the Westboro Baptist people.
Right. Well,
They're
I would
crazy.
say that some of us don't have that in, maybe because of who we are, how we were raised, we don't know how to pick safe people.
Okay.
Right.
So you can't give me any simple rule for how to tell who the true believers are versus the false ones?
No, I would just say...
There's no simple rule for that.
I don't think it's simple. I think you just have to... you have to be careful. You have to watch people. You have to see if they are authentic. You know, they talk a lot about authentic.
Well, that takes a lot of time.
Well, of course.
Okay.
Well, what do we have? No time?
Okay. Well, what if you've watched a lot of people who proclaim faith and you can't see any evidence of that? Then what?
Yeah, then I would probably look for other people that do show evidence.
Okay. Now,
and see what they do and see if it matches up with what you understand. Because I think you know your Bible.
Well, thank you.
Right. So I think that you do, and so you can look at people and you can say, does this match up with what I see, or is this not? And then there's a big word called grace, and grace is unmerited or undeserved forgiveness. So as people,
how do I know that exists?
Do you have kids?
Excuse me? No, I forgive my kids, of course.
Right.
And my wife forgives me, that's for certain.
Right. So why?
So I believe that people can forgive each other.
But why do they? It's like your kids.
Why do they?
Right?
Because that's how humans form communities, by forgiving. And humans that live in communities are more successful than humans that don't.
Right.
So we form communities by instinct.
So if you were with a person who called themselves a Christian and then you saw them being very unforgiving, you might say,
Why?
What's up here?
That's right.
Could you teach them?
Excuse me?
Could you ask them the question?
Ask what question?
Like, you say you're a Christian but you don't forgive. What's with that? I think that God's using you.
And then they'll just say they're a sinner and we'll be done with it. I mean, that's what Christians say.
But isn't that a cop-out?
Yeah.
Like saying love God and do as you please, and then I can do whatever I want.
Because I've yet to equate belief with character. And that's
a good thing.
Well,
you should equate it with character.
Well, no, I can't know, and you aren't telling me that I can know what a person believes by how they act. A lot of very nice people don't believe anything about God.
That's true.
All right? And they're very nice and altruistic.
Yeah.
A lot of people who believe the most, in their minds, orthodox doctrines, in my mind, are not an asset to humanity. That's in my mind.
And one would think that if you're professing this great faith, there should be some evidence.
Yeah. So I'd be happy to judge believers by whatever you like me to, but first you have to tell me who the true believers are and how I can identify them.